Alright everybody, so welcome back to the next episode of Are They Hacking or Do You Just Suck? On this one we're actually going to be reviewing the same match that we did a minute ago, but we're going to be focusing on a different player. This time we're going to be focusing on Ego Death. And believe it or not, I actually have another player that I want to do on this exact same one, just to kind of give everybody a full review of what I think is going on here. So I'm just giving you the people that do suspicious things, and I'm going to let you decide whether or not you think it's suspicious enough for them to be a hacker. So we're going to start out here watching this guy, Ego Death, and I'm not going to be cutting anything. I'm not going to be clipping anything. I'm going to be speeding through some parts just to get us to where we're not spending too much time. So we're going to slow down this engagement. I think this is pretty fair. I don't think this is a big deal, but... Alright, that's a pretty fair engagement, and then he dies right here. So whenever our guy here dies, guy or gal, we're going to go ahead and just speed through it until the round's over. And then we'll get back on him, or her, or whatever. Let's just get up here. Alright, so that round's over. We're back at normal speed. We'll slow down here just a little bit so that we can get back on our person here. So we're back on Ego. Let's get back up. This is going to be another situation where he gets a kill and then dies. Obviously that first one, I mean, that was a pretty natural kill in my opinion. I think I'm on now. Alright, so let's slow this one down, and we're going to take a look right here. Let's slow down the engagement and see what we can see. So far, I don't see any crosshair training. I don't see anything suspicious. There's a guy out in the open. He's just trying to take some pics because there's a lot of people out there. And then he ends up getting shot. No big deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's speed through this. Alright, there we go. Let's get back on our... There we go. Back on Ego. And then this one we're going to put up to 8x through this simply because on the other team we had somebody who dropped out from a lag and they were restarting, so it takes a while. There were like a full 3 timeout sessions, so it's going to be a second. One of the things I want to point out in these videos, as I try to point out in all the videos, is that just because someone's getting good kills doesn't mean they're a hacker, and just because someone dies a lot doesn't mean that they're not a hacker. A lot of times people hack because they suck at the game. And then you'll notice in some of these videos that that a lot of times what will happen is people will... Let's slow this down. Here's a suspicious thing. Throwing the grenade's not a big deal. Yeah, we can see somebody in the, we can see somebody in red room, not a big deal. We don't care. Here's where it gets suspicious. This is a dead center crosshair. Right? And I know that we can see the rounds coming out of the smoke. We cannot see the figure, but we can see the rounds coming out of the smoke. And I just want to go ahead and point out that this is what it looks like at full speed. Just so you could see that. Is it wall hacking? I don't know. Is it a coincidence, or is he just really good? We'll take a look. That's pretty dead center. I mean, I'll let y'all be the deciding factor in that. So, we're going to go ahead and watch this one. But while we're watching it, I also want to say that, you'll watch these demos and stuff, and you'll see these hackers, but they try to disguise themselves. They're not trying to look like hackers, so they're not always going to train their crosshair dead center on somebody. They might put somebody on the screen to where they can see them on the screen, and then that's it. They can only see them on the screen, and then they try to hide the fact that they're watching them until the engagement comes. But if you look here, I mean, look at that crosshair. It's just dead on that guy. and you'll see he brings the crosshair and trains it on him multiple times. But people that do a lot of hacking, people that have gotten caught hacking and things like that, they're going to make sure that they look as normal as possible. So watch, he's going to throw a couple rounds over here for no reason. Right, I'll speed this up back to normal. Right, we know there's nobody in there. He knows there's nobody in there. But he's got to make it look like he doesn't know. And he's going to do that there. So is it because he's hacking? Is it because he's good? I don't know. You can be the judge of that once again. Here comes the engagement where he gets the kill. So let's take a look at this. I'm just going to keep it on the slow. Train the crosshair. All right. So, I don't know. Speed through it. Let's get up to the next engagement. This is another one that's kind of weird for me. So if we watch Orange right there, he throws a grenade and takes a bolt into Donut right there, right? So I'm sure that Ego might be able to hear him, but with all the flashes and the HE grenades going off and stuff like that, I'm sure that, you know, he's got that ring. So here's where it gets suspicious. The bomb's going up to B and then rotating back out. His teammates are running in all willy-nilly and stuff. Ego's still trained on this one specific area. And he's being very, very, very patient in this one specific area. He's not checking behind him. That's it. Now, is there something that he saw that we didn't? I don't know. That's up to you. And what he's doing where he's spamming the smoke like that, I have seen so... I've been making these videos for a while, and I just now decided to, like, kind of post them, but I've seen so many blatant wall hackers that will just spam in random places with whatever, just so that they kill the suspicion of themselves. That right there is another one, and I think I missed that while I was reviewing this, but let's go ahead and just get back up to it. Let's see what we get here. Now, he doesn't get the kill for this, but watch. So we get yellow from the other team coming up there, right? He never comes out into the open. Oh, I guess he does. So maybe he saw him. He got tagged, but watch the shot pattern. I mean, is it just good aim? Or could he see something more than we see? I don't know. So, let's go ahead and speed through this, because I think that's the last for that round. Alright, so here we go. I mean, there's a 100% possibility that, you know, not 100%, but there's a very large possibility that all of this could just be circumstance. It could be luck. You know, we don't know. Oh, there we go. A lot of op shots through there. We'll get through here, slow it down. Let's get back on our guy. All right. I think this one he just dies. We'll speed through it real quick and take a look. Throws a grenade, perfectly normal. Throws a molly, perfectly normal. Gonna fast forward through it. I don't want to fast forward through everything because I believe it's important for you guys to see what he's doing when he's not getting kills too. But you can also be a wall hacker and suck. So let's see here. So we'll get back. As soon as that starts, we'll get back to our guy. There we go. Ego. Let's bump this up. All right. So here we go. So let's see what we got. We're a little too slow, I think. Alright, so we're going to watch him during this engagement. So we got a flashbang coming at him. I'm sure he probably can't tell where it's coming from yet. But let's see. I think we're still a couple seconds out on the kill. So he's checking long donut. I don't know. That shot right there was pretty suspicious. I know there was a grenade that broke the smoke, but he seems to be pretty well trained on that guy. Let's get back up to speed and check that out. So there's flashbangs out. This is real time. Comes the grenade to pop the smoke. Alright, now let's watch. He gets a tiny glimpse at him, but look at the crosshair placement. I mean, that was perfect. Now watch it, and he does it again too. Perfect crosshair placement before he even comes around. Alright, is he hacking? I don't know. I don't know, but he's dead there. So let's fast forward through here. Alright, let's slow that down. Let's see what we're looking at here. Alright, so we got a guy up here in this little hiding spot. Sometimes you can jump up there off the sign, sometimes you get boosted, but this is one of those situations where now they're up by 5. I don't know. That kind of goes against suspicion, you know, unless he's out there on purpose because he's already got a few kills and he wants to kind of throw people off the trail. I have definitely seen people do that as well, where they start to get up and they don't want to push it and make themselves too suspicious. So they'll either toggle off and turn their stuff off and play normally, and that's when they get kills, or they'll just leave it all on and just run out and be silly. So let's fast forward through here. Alright. Back on Ego. We're about halfway through at this point. We're sitting at about 12 minutes. I'd like to get these videos shorter, but it's really difficult to do that and show the entire match in it. You know, I feel like it's important for the match to be shown in its entirety from that person's perspective so that you can really get a good gauge on whether or not, you know, they have some, what I call, pharmaceutically enhanced advantage. Here's a kill that's, I mean, fairly normal, but you know, when your game is going fast-paced like this is a really weird angle to hold, especially if someone's walking. Very difficult for you to know that there's somebody there. And I mean, we'll go back 15 seconds and just watch it in real time just to reiterate, you know, why the idea of holding that exact when he hasn't done it before. So let's see. Walking, walking, walking. Tagged and leaving. You know, he must have had some kind of, if he wasn't hacking, he must have had some inclination that somebody was there. We're not rewinding for this kill exactly, we're just rewinding to look at this one. So we saw that shot in the smoke. We all know that sometimes you can see through smoke, and sometimes body parts stick out of smoke. And if we slow it down enough, you can see that there was a little bit of a body part right there that poked out of the smoke. But watch this. Is it luck? I don't know. You be the judge. So Ego dies there. We'll wait for the round to finish out. And then we'll go back. And I do know that I can go back and hit the highlights of it too. But I really want to see a little more information before the highlight. I want to see where he goes and why, different things like that. This is a good grenade. Watch this. Boom. Grenades are the best. I love a good grenade kill. I mean, is the guy a good player? Yeah, absolutely the guy's a good player. Is he doing some suspicious things? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's some where he picks to spam in the smoke is kind of important and stuff like that. Now, of course, we heard the knife come out. I don't know if you can, I can't remember if you can actually hear it, but watch this. I mean, why go to the right? Why not go to the left? I don't know. Why go to the right and not the left? Let's hear it in real time. Let's see it. Let's review it in real time. See, that's kind of weird. And then, one, of course, one burst off to the side to make it not look suspicious. So, you see that the other team was, you know, the other guy was walking. Here's where it gets suspicious as well. You know, shooting there for absolutely no reason. But then, at just the right time, off on the other side. So, let's speed this up, get to the next kill. Well, not a big deal on this one, but just a complete 2 for 1 there. All right. So he didn't die that time. We get to stay on him. Let's burn through this time a little bit. Let's look at the rest of the engagements here. Slow it down just a tiny bit. Oof, that was a bad smoke. All right. So we got the CTs rushing down. You know, as you can tell, this is not a good round for the other side, but stuff happens. Let's go ahead and speed this back up. I like to slow it down occasionally so that I can get a good look to see, you know, what's going on, if they're looking through smoke, if they're looking through walls, if they're looking at teammates on the other part of the map, or, you know what I mean, what's going on there. So here's another one that's very suspicious, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this right here, and I can pull my view out a little bit. So I'm going to pull my view out, and what you're going to see is you're going to see my character. I'm blue, Prismo, and you'll see me, I'm in B, and I've been walking in B, and I'm trying to come out and take a look on site. So you'll see what happens. Ego actually goes into CT. Watch this. Goes into CT. Now I'm walking the entire time. He cannot hear me. I do not change weapons. I do not pick anything up. And then all of a sudden, from a full sprint, turns around while I'm still walking, comes back, picks me off, and then goes about his day. So we'll return our view back to him real quick, and I think this is an important view to have. So we'll go up here, and we'll go through here, and I just want you to see from this perspective. So he's going, and then, oh, wait a second, turns around, looks left donut. His teammate is still pushing up, but realizes something's different. Watch, trains the crosshair. Kind of suspicious, man. I'm sorry. It's just kind of suspicious. What a weird time to turn around when someone's walking. Alright, there's his death there. There's that. Where are you at? There you are. Okay. Alright, pretty fair. That was an out in the open kill, no need to be looking around, but... Also, another pretty fair kill. And then a death. Alright, so this is a switch over. Now they're on the CT side. So let's take a look and see how this plays out. So I think he dies right here. But he also, you know, this is their pistol round. Now here's another one that could be it could be really good playing, or it could be a little bit of wall hacking. Watch purple on that. Watch where he's got his train. Now of course he's chasing him down, but I'm not worried about this. I mean, we can all see that he's exposed there, but it was the time leading up to that that was the suspicious part. All right. No, that's just your... This one's a little... That's like your standard pre-fire situation. They were making noise and stuff like that, and I can absolutely see someone coming around that corner and pre-firing that. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't pre-fire that. So, and then he dies right here, so we'll put it back to normal speed. But, you know, if we're being honest, it's 10-3 right now. There's really no need for him to push it. If he was hacking, there's no need for him to push it. He could just literally go out there and die almost every time right now. So, let's speed up through here. Let's get back here. Oh, where'd you go? There you go, you go. Alright, let's get back to normal speed. Let's see here. And he's just got a death coming up here. And I think this is where they start to, where he starts to not care so much. So let's see. I mean, he's obviously got a pretty impressive inventory. He's got a lot of nice, expensive inventory, which is really cool. So we'll just kind of 4x it through here. Maybe we'll slow it down a little bit here and there, but... I mean, he was seen there, obviously, so... Alright, so let's see here. Where you at, Ego? Alright, so there's Ego again. Let's get back up. Let's see here. So, the reason I don't want to let it run the entire course is because nobody wants to sit here for an hour watching this stuff. We're already at 22 minutes, which is pretty impressive. But once again, I think it's really important. So, you know, here we are. Now, they're up 12-3 at this point. You know, him and his teammate just messing around, but I think at this point there's no reason for them to be pushing it. You know what I mean? They're kind of taking it easy now. Alright, there's Ego again. Let's see what he's got. This is another... There it is. Alright, so let's fast forward through this. Alright, back on Ego. Let's see, now he gets, I think he gets a 4K for the last one. This is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets silly. Alright. Look at that crosshair training. I don't know. Still trained dead on him. Still dead on him. Wow. Crappy shot. Trained right on him again. Look at that. It was trained dead on him on the other side of that box. Now I get it. We all look at corners and stuff, but I mean, come on. That's some pretty hardcore. Look at that. Look at that. He's already trained on him before he ever comes around the corner. Super suspicious if you ask me, but then again, it could just be skill. Maybe he just knows where to look. This is where it gets juicy. And that's the end of the match. So there's a few suspicious things in there for me. Obviously, this person is good at the game. That doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that he's not hacking or he is hacking or whatever the case may be. That's up for y'all to decide. I'm just trying to look through the demos and see. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I've seen a lot of people that just blatantly wall hack. I've seen people headshot through, you know, wooden crates and stuff like that with the ops and stuff. So I wanted to decide to make these videos for myself so I can review these things as well. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe it, because the more you like and subscribe, the more I can get out there, which means the more content I can make, which means the more hackers we can find together, or not. I don't know. Are they hacking, or do you just suck? I guess we'll find out.